you take the pack of cards and you make it vanish in slow motion. So you hold it just like this between your hands and you squeeze the pack and every single card melts out of existence until you're just left with one. Hey guys, how's it going? Welcome back to the channel and welcome to the start of a brand new series. In this series, I'm going to be answering your questions, solving your magical problems and giving advice, and also my thoughts and opinions on current magic topics or things in the community. Whoa, let me stop you right there, Cavan. This sounds suspiciously like a Q&A to me, and I know that you wouldn't stoop that low. Surely. I mean, this isn't a Q&A, right? Yeah, alright, fine. It's a Q&A. It's a Q&A series. But the only way that this Q&A series can work is if I get enough of the Q's to A. So what I want you to do is leave me your questions down in the comments. And again, this can be about absolutely anything. Nothing is off book. Is that the expression? Nothing is out of bounds. You can ask me anything, magic or non-magic related. It can be about certain tricks or techniques, or maybe you've got a problem that you want me to solve. It can be about anything. I'm gonna pick a load of questions to answer in the next episode, and the best question will win a prize. And today, that prize is 10 items from the Magician Club. Without further ado, let's dive into the first question. C White 8023 asks, any tips for starting a magic YouTube channel? This is an excellent question, and it's something that I get asked all the time. How do you start a YouTube channel? Whether it's magic or non-magic related, honestly, my answer is always kind of the same, and that's just go for it. Like, just start. And I think now with YouTube Shorts, more than ever, it really doesn't matter whether you have the best kit or the best camera or the best editing software. You can just pick up your phone, start filming, and you don't need any of that. You just need the best ideas. Other than just going for it, some advice that I do have is make sure your videos look and sound nice. Now, I've said you don't need special equipment, and that is entirely true, but make sure the videos are framed nice, make sure the room you're in is well lit, open a window, turn on some lights, and make sure that it sounds okay. Go somewhere quiet, go somewhere you're not gonna get interrupted, and just make that little bit of effort because I think it really makes all the difference. My second bit of advice is have an idea list. This can be a physical notebook, but a lot of the time for me it's just the Notes app on my phone. I write down every video idea I get. No matter where I am, I always have my phone on me and I can write down an idea. Now, quite a lot of the time, I look at that idea a day later or sometimes just 10 minutes later and I think that is rubbish. I would never make that video. But you've sort of got to get the rubbish ideas down because if you do that, then you're also going to get the good ideas down. So you need to just get every idea down and eventually you'll find some absolute gold mines in there. My third tip is enjoy it. Like, don't worry about the subscriber count, don't worry about the view count or the like count or how many comments you're getting. To begin with, just enjoy the ride. Next question. Bring Your Own Popcorn, love that username. Bring Your Own Popcorn asks, what is one mistake you see a lot of amateur magicians making that they should rectify to become more successful and get better reactions? This is a difficult question. The first thing that springs to mind actually kind of follows on from what I was just talking about. When you're filming magic performances, the number one thing that beginners do wrong, and something that I did wrong for a very, very long time, so I hold my hands up, I was massively guilty of this, is when you're filming a magic performance, to just focus on the trick. So a lot of the time you'll see videos on Instagram where people have framed it just around their hands doing the trick, and it's just a card trick and you can't see them, there's no presentation, there's no talking, it's just the trick. This... Look at any great performance ever, right? On any TV show or Instagram or social media, anything. Any great magical performance, I guarantee you that the video is not just on their hands. Because that's not memorable, that's not good performance. Being a good magician is being a good performer. And to be a good performer, you need to understand that it's not just about the tricks. Show your face, show more of yourself, and it just helps the performance so much. You can do the trick exactly the same, but the whole experience of the magic will be 10 times better because performance helps so much. I understand from my own experience that this comes down to confidence. When I started out in magic, I was not confident in it at all. I was very, very shy. I wanted to crop my face out of the performances and let the tricks do the talking because I did not want to be on camera. But that was hurting my performances. That was actively hurting the magic I was doing. If only I'd had the confidence to show more of myself and do more of a performance, the tricks would have got a better reaction, and then I would have been more confident in it. So it's a vicious cycle. Next question comes from Nia Evans. For the Q&A, what is the most interesting idea for a trick or trick in general you've come up with? And did it work or completely fail? Also, congratulations on 20K, thank you very much. Most interesting idea for a trick, wow. So this idea is super interesting, but it's also a work in progress. So this is by no means a finished idea whatsoever, but it's something that I really enjoy. So it's a deck vanish where you take the pack of cards and you make it vanish in slow motion. So you hold it just like this between your hands and you squeeze the pack and every single card melts out of existence until you're just left with one, the Joker, right there. Work in progress, let me know what you think. It's visual, it's certainly good, it works really well on camera. Not the most practical thing in the world though. Certainly not something I think you could do in person. I've tried it in person and it's sometimes worked, it's sometimes not. It's hit and miss. Basically, if they look for too long at the deck or too closely, they're gonna spot the method, because the method is a bit of sponge. It's a sponge deck, and all you do is you place a playing card right on top of this bit of sponge, and if you hold it like this, you can kind of hold it in mechanics grip and switch it to end grip just like this, and you're just literally pressing the sponge. So I just place my hands like so, and I squeeze the sponge, and then I'm kind of gathering it into this hand, squeezing it into a fist, showing this, and I can ditch this at the edge of the table just like so. So super simple, little mini tutorial for you there. But it's very, very visual, and I urge you to sort of take this idea and run with it. I just literally found this like packing sponge, which was the color and thickness of a deck of cards. So I just kind of went with it. It's an idea, it's a work in progress. But I like sharing works in progress. I like sharing ideas that aren't complete yet. Like my Sharpie through phone video. That idea wasn't complete, and that's still something I'm working on. But there's so many ideas like this that are great in theory, and then you put them into practice and you realize just how difficult it is. The issue with this idea, as interesting as it is making it practical, is making it believable, because at the moment, although it sort of looks like a deck of cards, the longer you look, the illusion falls apart. It doesn't really look like a deck of cards. And all I did, by the way, was a little off-screen switch before. So yeah, I'd probably say that's my most interesting idea at the moment. As for most interesting idea ever, I don't know. Maybe I'm yet to invent that. Hopefully, I'm yet to invent that. Oh, and as for the second part of Nia's question, did it work or completely fail? I'll leave that up to the jury. You can decide in the comments. Was that deck vanish good? Or was it a fail? Let me know. Kimchi B says, I'd like to know if people you've performed to have looked up the tricks afterwards on YouTube. As I'm just starting out, I'm wondering if this is a problem in general, and especially for magicians that have a YouTube channel. Cheers. Wow, this is a really deep topic and something I could probably talk about for a very long time. Do audiences look up the magic tricks afterwards? I don't think they do very often. Now, yes, of course, there is nothing to stop audiences doing a bit of research and finding out the solution to certain tricks. But if your trick is one Google search away from being revealed, probably not the best trick in the world, right? Just being brutally honest about it. I've been performing to groups and I've walked away and overheard them say, oh, let's just Google it, or let's look up the tutorial on YouTube. There'll be someone who explains it. And in a way, I don't mind audiences doing that. I think a lot of magicians would take it very personally. Oh, they want to know how it's done. They don't care about the magic. Well, they do care about the magic. They care about it in a different way. They care about the magic in the same way that magicians care about the magic. Because after all, isn't that how every magician started? We wanted to know how the tricks were done, and so we found out, and now we can do them. You know, if anything, things like that just create new magicians. A lot of people think exposure is killing magic. I think the opposite. I think secrecy is killing magic. Because ultimately, secrecy means that you don't get any new magicians. And without magicians, magic dies. There isn't any magic without magicians. And so I don't think that is the end of the world. Now, yes, I am a magician who teaches magic on YouTube, and I also perform magic to audiences. But I find that those two circles, if this was a Venn diagram, there's a very narrow crossover between the people I perform to and the people I teach to. Hardly any of them will cross from one to another, and I don't particularly worry about that becoming an issue. And the people in that crossover, like I said, might become magicians. So either way, it's a win-win. Really interesting question though, thank you so much. Moving on. Ruben Armas says, how do you overcome magician's guilt? I always feel my victims are seeing my moves and can guess what I'm doing or where I'm going. Boy, this was something I struggled with when I started out. I was terrified to do anything slightly risky in front of my audiences out of fear of getting caught out. And magician's guilt is a real thing. I've experienced it very, very strongly in the past, and I still experience it occasionally when I'm doing a trick for the first time. There's that little sort of funny butterfly feeling in your stomach, like, are they gonna see this? Are they gonna know how it's done when you're completely road testing new material? But I kind of get a thrill from that now. I've kind of turned that nerve into excitement. The more magic you do, the less this will become an issue, because you'll realize what flies under the radar and what doesn't. And the answer is, hardly anything doesn't. Most things fly under the radar. If it's a tried and tested method, if it's a method that's been around for more than 10 years, let's say, then it's gonna fool audiences. There's a reason that it's stuck around as a method. There's a reason that lots of magicians perform it. Yes, it's terrifying doing it yourself for the first time, but it's not the first time it's ever been done. Lots of magicians have done it before, so you kind of need to trust them that it works and it'll fool audiences. So yeah, good luck with it. So there we have it. That is it for episode 1 of this Q&A series. I need a name for this series. Q&A with Cav or Cavan or something? No, that's terrible. We'll think about the name at a different point in time. But yeah, if you enjoyed this one, make sure to hit the thumbs up button down below and subscribe to the channel if you're new and you like anything to do with magic, or you're a magician yourself, then hit the subscribe button. This is the channel for you. And just before I finish, you may have noticed that my shelves have disappeared. Well, that is because I am moving. Me and my girlfriend are moving from this town, from this house, back into Manchester city centre. We've got a flat in Manchester and we're very excited about that. So yeah, I cannot wait for the next stage of my life. It is something I'm really looking forward to, being back in Manchester. So yeah, can't wait to show you all of that. Thanks for watching this video. I will see you in the next one. Until then, take care, guys.